How can we combat these environmental issues? Welcome to your next lesson. Our environment is our home, the place that sustains us. But are we living in harmony with nature? It seems like we humans have embraced a path of self-destruction, destroying the very home that shelters us. From rising carbon emissions to deforestation and land degradation, anthropogenic activities are having detrimental effects on our ecosystems and environmental biodiversity. Not many are aware that the United Nations General Assembly has declared the period of 2011 to 2020 as the decade of biodiversity. We are past the final period of the crucial decade, and despite several strategic plans and initiatives to mobilize people at different levels, we are miles behind in achieving the stipulated targets. The negative trends in biodiversity and ecosystems conservation indicate that we are needing to do a lot more to save our environment. As teenagers, sometimes we feel helpless and powerless, unable to take action or do things that really matter to us, since governments and large corporations are the ones taking vital decisions. While major changes are only possible if countries and corporations alter their policies and actions, we, as individuals, also have the potential to make a difference, whether through small actions or larger initiatives. Let's not forget that consumers dictate markets, and they can significantly impact the way goods are produced and traded if they decide to change their consumption habits. Here are some ways in which you can take control of your future and protect our environment and ecosystems. Start your own initiative or volunteer with environmental organizations. Whether it's something small like taking a community cleanup group or building a large social organization with significant reach and impact, taking initiatives for environmental conservation can go a long way. There are many successful youth-led environmental organizations and NGOs across the globe that are leading by example today. However, if you're not up to it, you can also make an impact on the environment by getting involved with local non-profits and assisting the environmental community groups. There are several ways in which you can get involved, from running online awareness campaigns to offering practical help like beach cleanups and fundraising events. You could also reduce or recycle paper. What do you do with your old textbooks and novels that are not in use? Why not donate them to juniors or kids in your neighborhood, or send them across to countries where children have little to no access to educational resources? While books aren't doing any harm sitting on a bookshelf, why not save resources by putting them to reuse? Similarly, recycling unwanted paper will reduce the raw material demand for paper production, thus conserving trees and forest ecosystems. For online assignments to writing exams, thanks to the advent of technology, paper isn't something that is necessary anymore. By making use of smart technologies that are available today, we can effortlessly shift away from paper-based activities at all levels. Recycle more often. Recycling is a simple yet effective way of conserving resources and reducing your individual carbon footprint. Rather than throwing everything in the trash, separate your plastic, paper, and metal waste and dispose it in a recycling bin. Recycling helps reduce landfill pollution, raw materials and fossil fuel consumption and generates a circular economy. You could save resources as well. Did you know that only 0.3% of 70% of water available to us is fresh water? That's why saving water is so important for freshwater ecosystems. By doing simple things like taking shorter showers, avoiding small clothes washes, and turning your taps off while brushing your teeth, you can save gallons of water. Similarly, it is important to be mindful of your electricity consumption and make adaptations so that you can reduce the demand for energy production and thereby preserving fossil fuel resources. While public and private entities plan the transition to sustainable alternatives by doing our bits at home and school, we can reduce fossil fuel dependency. Buy sustainable products. Plastic is one of the most significant contributors to soil and marine pollution, endangering both the land and marine life. Plastic isn't biodegradable and is often consumed by animals who mistake it as food. When buying a product, be aware of its environmental impact and disposal after use. Companies are now being questioned on the ecological footprint, and changing consumer habits are compelling them to become more sustainable. When you're stocking up on school supplies like folders and pens or buying toys and home accessories, try to look for more eco-friendly alternatives that can replace plastic. For example, some of us use so much plastic from buying bottled water every day that when buying your own reusable bottle is not only much cheaper, but also much better for the environment. Also, buying local products and produce is a great way to minimize carbon footprint, as goods don't have to travel longer distances and consume more fuel for transportation. Do some research and find out about the local e-stores and farms in your area. Supporting small businesses is also great for the local economy because you're sustaining the economic activity and job creation in your area. Now, I know us South Africans are generally big meat eaters, but it is important to decrease meat and dairy consumption. Methane is one of the most potent greenhouse gases that contribute to global warming. With increasing demand for meat, the number of livestock farmers has gone up significantly over the last few decades. As livestock releases large amounts of methane into the atmosphere, excessive meat and dairy consumption has detrimental effects on our climate. Additionally, unsustainable dairy and cattle farming leads to the destruction of the ecologically important areas such as wetlands and forests. Deforestation required to house animals like cows and chickens are damaging habitats and natural ecosystems, where hundreds of species depend on each other for survival. Thus, the only way we can prevent more damage is by being responsible and eating less meat and dairy products. Lastly, think about your purchasing habits. Do you buy too many products? Can you do without some of the things that you often buy? Are you a responsible consumer? Simply buying more because of tempting offers or discounts will actually cost us and the environment more. Whether it's groceries, clothes, accessories, or home products, by purchasing only what you need, you reduce the amount of waste generated and thus pollution. As natural resources are limited, Our excessive consumption can be counterproductive and undermine our planet's diversity. Some of you may be wondering, okay, I've got all this information, but how can I help our environment? What is the first thing I actually need to do? Because at times we feel so overwhelmed with what we can do to help our environment. I'm going to take you through 10 steps or 10 actions that you can easily do from the comfort of your own home to help minimize environmental issues. Let's dive in. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Cut down on what you throw away. Follow the 3 R's to conserve natural resources and landfill space. Volunteer. Volunteer for cleanups in your community. You can get involved in protecting your watershed too. You can even go online and do some reading for the elderly. There are many online platforms where you can volunteer your time to help others and better the community. Educate. When you further your own education, you can help others understand the importance and value of our natural resources. Conserve water. The less water you use, the less runoff and wastewater that eventually ends up in the ocean. Choose sustainable. Sustainability consists of fulfilling the needs of current generations without compromising the needs of future generations, while ensuring a balance between economic growth, environmental care, and social well-being. Shop wisely. Buy less plastic and bring a reusable shopping bag. When ordering online nowadays, if the company or place where you are buying from is eco-friendly, they will deliver your goods in a paper bag that is recyclable. Use long-lasting light bulbs. Energy-efficient light bulbs reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Also, flip the switch off when you leave the room. You could also plant a tree. Trees provide food and oxygen. They help save energy, clean the air, and help combat climate change. Don't send chemicals into our waterways. Choose non-toxic chemicals in the home. This could be cleaning agents that you'd use around the house. Bike more and drive less, especially when traveling in short distances. Mohath Agadi says that the environment is no one's property to destroy. It is everyone's responsibility to protect.